It's Saturday. It's the day my sister comes to France. I don't think they've travelled through France before, so I'm quite excited on their behalf. They're probably not. I do excitement more than they do. I think we'll see. Anyway, find out how it's all gone. Hopefully she'll message me and let me know when she's crossing. I have no idea what time she's crossing. She lives 20 minutes from Eurotunnel, so yeah, they could be on their way. It's 20 to 10 in the UK, so yeah, could be on their way. I'm going to just talk about the stuff I watch on YouTube and some other stuff, but I'm aware that a lot of people are watching Chateau stuff and I'm not, and I mainly watch sandibrock. It's just, I can't explain it. It's just fascinating for me. It may not be for you. Watching how sheep are bred, watching them farming, watching how hard they work, watching their life in Canada. I find it fascinating. The best bit of many of her videos, because she always, it's a bit like B-roll, she always uses it, is the chickens, the lambs running round and round or backwards and forwards with no destination. One or two start running and the rest follow, and they're backwards and forwards. It's just a pleasure to watch. Their daughter, their 21-year-old, I think Jess's daughter, has just finished 6 weeks of chemo. That it's been really painful to watch, really painful, really wrenching to see her losing so much weight, because she's taller than her mum, tall and thin, hadn't got a spare kilo on her to lose, and looked towards the end quite anorexic, which was really worrying. But I know that they've been able to keep her eating, because the difficult thing is that if you are not eating enough, even though you're not deliberately anorexic, your body gets into anorexic thinking as you lose weight, and then you're not interested in food. It happened to my dad in hospital years ago, 2 or 3 years before he died, where he'd been nil by mouth, and then the operation had been postponed, and nobody really picked up that he shouldn't be nil by mouth. And by the time they started to think about feeding him, he'd lost interest in food and was just losing weight. And had my sister, who's coming to France today, not gone up and discharged him and brought him home, he may have died then. So yeah, that's been wrenching to watch. But I watch a lot of sandibrock. There's a lot of videos, and I really enjoy that. And it's a bit like my background noise, and I really enjoy that. Other YouTubers that I watch, Leave Everything and Wonder, which which is Luca, Sarah, Lucia, and their vlog started out as a van life vlog, and it's evolved. It's evolved into a life journey vlog, and now it's evolving again into a renovation vlog. And I think it's important to recognise that vloggers evolve. Life changes. You start off doing one thing, and your life moves on to do something else. I really enjoy watching them. I worry about them. I worried about them when Sicily, there were wildfires on Sicily, and they just bought the olive grove, and they had such extraordinary heat there in Italy and in Sicily. I was really quite concerned. It's a mother thing, isn't it, really? They're not my children, but they're young enough to be my kids, and really concerned about them. So every Sunday, they release a vlog every Sunday. It's always a relief to see them alive at the moment. I haven't looked at the temperatures down there. Don't know what they are at the moment. Temperature here is, we're just entering into heat wave, and last night we had the aircon on in the bedroom. The temperature gauge in the bedroom was 28 yesterday morning when I went up and closed the window, and I said to Mark yesterday, supper time, I said to him, I think you need to go up and get the aircon on so the bedroom's cooled down for us to sleep in. And it was really quite a marked difference between the temperature in the bedroom and when I got up in the middle of the night to go out to the loo. It made a big difference. So that's going to be on for the next few days, and I think he's going to have to set up the aircon down here, because the temperature here is, at the moment it's only 25 out there, but it's sort of quite an oppressive heat. So he'll probably do that today. Back to YouTube, living in the leaw, of course. Brooke and Rebecca, they're a YouTube channel that hasn't evolved in the way others have had. They've just been themselves, and that's really lovely because they are a lovely couple. Brooke's filming is amazing. He does some lovely filming, very thoughtful, and I really enjoy watching their vlogs. They don't do many, and I just think that, life has been really busy for them. They've got 2 young boys, and I know that they've had some sickness at the beginning of the year, so they don't do many vlogs, but when they do release a vlog, it's really lovely to watch. It's really lovely to watch as their homestead, as it's called in the America. I don't know, a small holding, I think it would be called in the UK. I don't know what it would be called here. It's lovely watching all that come together. They work really hard, and they're doing really well, and I really enjoy watching them. I just wish there was more, but that's all there is. Building Life, I was watching that a lot. Haven't watched it so much. I do watch it a bit, but it's the Vietnamese guy who his channel's evolved. He has changed a lot over the period where he's been earning so much money from YouTube. Not in an arrogant way, but it has changed a lot. And at the moment, because I missed a patch, I know that he'd been unwell, and I don't know in what way, and it's difficult with subtitles to see what's going on, but I can see that he looks as if he might be on steroids because he's really bulked out. And his wife's gone off into the city to work, so he's left at home. And I think maybe because he's not as well. It's not that obvious, but if you've seen him through the whole lot, you can tell that he's probably not so well, which is why he's at home and she's gone away to work. He removed a wasp nest from a tree in one of his latest vlogs. He'd got a suit on. It isn't the sort of suit that beekeepers use. It's similar, but it was more like a deep diving suit. And he'd got this suit on, and the footage of that actually is amazing because the wasps are so fucking angry, and they're hitting the camera as he's filming, and it obviously hitting him, but he's covered in a suit. I don't know what his plan was with the wasp nest. I don't think it was doing any harm. These fruit trees, he's got trees everywhere, all over the place. And I don't think it was anywhere near the home, and I don't think they would have done any harm. And I'm looking at it, I need to look more carefully, but I think it was a hornet's nest. I don't think it was wasps. It might be what we know as Asian hornets. If I can be bothered, I might look again and then do a comparison. But it's weird. And then he bought it. He took loads of it off before bringing it home, and then chopped it. And what you're left with is this nest and the grubs. And he starts eating the grubs. And I'm thinking, the Western audience are not going to like this. It makes me laugh. What's normal for him is not normal for a Western audience. So that's that. I watched, it just came up. I've got these tiny little bloody flies around. I watched some JW, a Jehovah's Witness vlog of a couple in their 70s who left the Jehovah's Witnesses. It was fascinating. To hear their story. Of course, having watched that, everything YouTube bloody recommends now is God related, which is a pain in the arse. So I've watched that, and I've watched the Magdalene laundries, which I didn't know a lot about. I knew a bit about it, but not one of those things that's flying at me last night and nearly ended up in my mouth. About in Ireland, the women that were taken away for being fallen women or single mothers or out of control or too pretty, and put into these industrial laundries to work for the Catholic Church, owned by, run by, controlled by the Catholic Church, and completely for no pay. They weren't paid, and these poor women were shamed and stigmatized, worked. They had children there. There were children working there, and there was a whole investigation eventually that was going on in Ireland, and women demanding an apology for what happened and redress, and it took forever for the Irish government to actually, apologise and I think compensate these women who, whose lives have been ruined. So that was interesting. We have got, I went down last night to put the hens away, and I expected Mrs. Broody, because she's there every day, I expected that. That was fine. But underneath that table, there's another Broody Gold Brahma. So that was exhausting, getting her out as well. At the end of the day, by the time I go down at 9 o'clock, I'm a bit tired, and it's the last bit of the day. It's like once that's done, I can come back and that's it. I don't have any more work to do. So dragging her out, sorting out the hens and everything, and I'm not going to be able to cool them off in this weather. It's just too hot. So I closed them in last night, but I opened up the pop holes so they've got access to the small run that connects to the coop. And I'm not going down there. That's it. They can have that. They've got inside where their food and water is, and they've got water outside as well. And I know that the girls will go broody inside, but at least they're inside and I don't have to do anything. And I'm just going to have to wait till cooler weather, or wait till I have more energy and work out how I'm going to cool them down and break them from being broody, because it's just impossible. It's just impossible. And it's similar to when we came back in May, all 4 hens had gone broody, and that's bound to happen, and I'll end up with a pile of them in the corner again, and we'll be back in that whole bloody circular thing. It's just frustrating. In fact, I was so tired last night, I thought, I'm going to give the hens away. I'm going to see if somebody wants the hens, because sometimes it is, it's too much, and it's too much. I made sauerkraut yesterday. That's a whole cabbage in there, and it's underwater around here. It's got a piece of plastic on top, piece of plastic bag, and then a pot here weighting it down. So that's sauerkraut, and you leave it to ferment for, I don't know, about a week, and you have to burp it each day so it doesn't explode. And having looked at YouTube and discovered how to make it, I realised that the red cabbage one I made last year, I didn't do properly. And we had some last night, and it was a little salty. And that's because this recipe, he was quite explicit, the guy that I was watching, he said that you shred your cabbage and weigh it, and then 2% of the weight of the cabbage is your salt dose. I don't know how I measured the salt last year. So we had the red cabbage sauerkraut last night, and it was a little salty. So I don't know how we'll get through that. We might not. I might have to give it. I don't like throwing food away, but I might have to throw it away. But this will be ready in a week's time. So that's really nice, because I'm looking forward to trying that. And then depending on how it is, I might make a larger amount. But that was a whole cabbage. I was quite surprised. I mean, it wasn't a big cabbage. I bought it in the bio shop. I was quite surprised that it 2/3 filled my bowl. By the time I'd kneaded it down and squeezed it and got all the liquid extracted, that's how much I ended up with. It was amazing. I bought some other stuff at the bio shop. I bought some kombucha. I bought some fruit kefir. and I bought some miso paste, and I'm going to do, I might not do it at lunchtime. I might have toast for lunch. I'm going to do noodles with, like ramen noodles, but probably my version of ramen noodles, for supper with chicken. So that's that. I think that's that. That's that. That's today. I'm looking forward to hearing what's going on with my sister. She's not a great communicator. Oh, somebody on Chattel suggested that the reason I talk to you is because Mark doesn't talk to me. It's so difficult when I read something like that, because obviously if I were on there as a someone that could comment, I'd say something, but I can't. But it just makes me laugh. This vlog is probably going to end up 20 minutes long, 15, 20 minutes. So based on the 20 minutes a day you see of me talking to you, you suggest that the other however many hours, 12 hours, 13 hours of the day, I don't get anybody to talk to. Well, you're off your fucking head. Oh, that's reminding me. I was thinking up just for fun about what we would have written on if I had some merch, and I was thinking of having something like "Don't fuck with Kathy," and then I thought no, because other people would read into that something else, and then I thought I could have "Fuck Kathy's vlog." I don't think I'll do it because I don't want all that. I don't want to do that, but I just was sort of thinking, if I did, what would I do? So yeah, he does talk to me now and again. Oh, that's such bollocks. We talk so much. Our whole life, when we first met, was around talking to each other and being with each other and talking and working out what this means and how that works and what we feel about that, and wind your fucking neck in. You really have no idea. And the other thing is, I posted that photo of that Toronto Pratt, and he's completely missed it and not seen it, and he you don't troll me, because I'll troll you back. Just don't. Okay, on that note, I'm off to have my second cup of coffee and hope I don't choke on it. Okay, have a lovely day. Have a lovely day. Oh, see, sorry.